Okay, what's going on, everyone? Thank you, Danielle, for joining us here on Vonvo.com. We're anxious to hear your opinion on everything going on in Israel right now. And why don't we just start off with where exactly are you located in Israel and what's going on around you? Danielle? Danielle, did you hear me?
Yeah.
Where exactly are you located right now in Israel?
Right now I'm in my house. I live in a city called Modi'in. It's just in the middle between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, very in the very center of the country. I'm not in the zone, but as we could see for the past few days, the fire zone really expired for a much wider range, so no one is really safe right
Gotcha. And have you heard any sirens go off near you, or any missiles land near your town?
now. No, I didn't. My town didn't suffer from missiles. But I could tell you that I don't know if you heard, but there was a terrorist attack today in Tel Aviv, and the terrorists ran away, and they just caught him an hour ago, just in the middle of my town. I don't know what he was doing there, but he was hiding there.
Are you referring to
Wow,
this to the
that's pretty scary. We got a announcement not to get out of our houses.
really? And are you referring to the bomber in on the bus today that occurred?
on the bus on the bus in Tel Aviv today.
Wow, that's
He
crazy.
was in your town?
Yeah, he got caught in my town.
That's crazy.
That's unbelievable. So, I mean, moving on past that, have you heard? Is the Israeli media talking about how there was just recently a ceasefire brokered in the country?
What? I did hear.
The ceasefire.
Are they telling you there's been a ceasefire?
Um, yeah, they're telling that in 1 hour from now, they're ceasing the fire. As I heard, it's from our side. We're gonna stop the shooting, but we're going to wait that they would stop the shooting afterward. I hope it would happen. I honestly don't really agree with that right now, but that's currently the decision, as much as I know.
Why don't you agree with that decision? Could you share your opinion with us? Danielle?
Yeah.
I asked, why don't you agree with having the ceasefire right now?
Because there's a reason all this operation started. For 12 years now, the people living in the south of Israel can't really live a normal life. On daily basis, there are missiles attacks from the Gaza Strip, and in the uh, in the past few weeks, it's been I don't know how to describe it, but they started shooting even more. That's why all this operation started. And since then, the things got really worse. They started shooting missiles over Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, and all the range um, really extended. And it's really hard to live like that. The people get scared. They can't for a week now. Nobody goes to school or to work in the south, and many houses were crushed. And really, I don't see how it's going to get better. And I know in a lot of places in the world, it seems like we're hurting and killing purposely innocent people, but that's actually really far from the truth. The Israeli army making all the effort they can to avoid hurting innocent people, but it's really hard because Hamas is using them as human shields and regular houses and hospitals as places to shoot from and to storage all their missiles. And unfortunately, we can't avoid protecting them all, um, which is actually Hamas' fault because they use their people as shields for them to make the terrorist attacks. So I believe that if the operation won't continue, things won't get better. Not for now. Hamas is not going to stop. They won't going to stop until something happens. They want us not to be here, and I believe that they don't really want to make peace because it's not a government. It's a terrorist organization.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really have a partner for conversation right now. That's what I think.
Got it. Very well said. And I mean, so ultimately, do you then believe that there could easily be missiles fired in the next few hours, even after the ceasefire occurs?
In the next few what?
In the next few hours, do you still see? You think you'll still see?
Yeah, I believe that even there will, if there, yeah, I believe that even if fire season will start, the missiles won't stop. And even 4 years ago, in past operation, there was a fire, and only 3 days later, the missiles returned. So I don't really believe this will end so soon.
That's crazy. Do you have any friends that have been called back to the reserves, and what have they been telling you?
Yeah. I heard that they have been called for reserves because many people were called. Um, they don't really do anything right now because they just wait. They wait for an operation to start, and if an operation by foot, I mean, won't start, they will come back home because all the things that happening now are Air Force and not soldiers fighting and shooting. It's like a really specific act to only for the terrorist attacks and the storages and all their locations.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Do you think a ground attack is necessary? Do you promote that on Israel's behalf?
Do I promote what?
Like, do you think
A ground attack.
Do you think a ground attack by Israel is necessary? Do you agree with that?
Yeah. It's complicated to answer because from one side, I really think that if there won't be a ground attack, things won't get better and won't change for our favor, and not for their favor. But I think that if there won't be a ground attack, things will just keep as they are right now. But a ground attack means very bad things to happen. Means soldiers getting killed because you can't avoid that, and it means innocent people in Gaza strike getting killed in much larger numbers than now. And it means a situation of war which is unpleasant for everyone. It means a lot much of reserves and a lot much of the time that it'll take. It'll be a long time because it's not something that you can end in a week or so, and it's going to be really hard. And all my friends is going to be there. I may be called for reserve, not to fight or something. I'm a girl, but to help in the background. And it really is complicated. It's a hard situation. We don't like innocent people get killed, and we don't like our own soldiers getting killed and sacrifice their life. But I honestly believe that now we don't have really a better option. It doesn't really matter because right now they're thinking about a ceasefire, not about a ground attack. But somewhere I believe that a ground attack will be a better solution for now.
Yeah.
Right.
What's your opinion on the news and television news and what they report? What's your opinion about that?
I know that the worldwide the picture that is drawn is showing a very evil Israel, not really the whole picture. And we know here in Israel that most of the time the CNN and the BBC they choose to show really one side of the picture, but that's not true. The whole picture is much wider, and I'm trying to be active as much as I can with like talking to you now or my Facebook posting. I don't know, things that clips and pictures that I think that will demonstrate how it really, how the things really are from here. And it's sad for me that to think that most of the people worldwide don't see how we suffer and don't know that for 12 years people in Israel can't really live normal life, and constantly, daily, they're sending missiles towards us. And I know that the Gaza Strip and the Palestinians are pictured as the poor side, and they really are poor. But the Hamas controls over there, and they are a terror organization, and they, the Palestinians, are given a legitimate. Well, I don't know really how to describe it, but like their government now is the Hamas, and Hamas is a terror organization that wants to kill. They aim at civilians. They aim at targets that they know that will hurt us more, and that's the difference between us. But people worldwide don't really see it. They see us as the I don't know, the evil Israel that wants to wipe away all the Gaza Strip, but that's really not the story how it really is.
So do you think? So basically, you think that Hamas is much more concerned with, wiping Israel off the map versus, let's say, building a better life for the people that they represent in the Gaza Strip and in the West Bank, such as, economic development?
What? I didn't hear you so well.
I was just saying, so you think Hamas is more concerned with wiping Israel off the map than it is with building up an economy and, prosperity for their people, the Palestinians?
Yeah, I I agree with that. I believe that Hamas is really his main aim right now is to hurt us as much as they like. Like you said, wipe us off the map, and they because we want peace, we want to speak, we want to give them what they need. We want to. We are. That's right that they are under our occupation right now, but still we supply their electricity, their water supply every day, constantly. Even now, when they don't stop bombing us, trucks of supplies and aid are going inside Gaza all the time, and we want to end this crazy reality. We want to live in peace, but unfortunately, not only the Palestinians, most of our enemies surround us and don't really want us to be here. But we don't have anywhere else to go. They have like 20 countries that they could live and they could be welcome there. But we are the only Jewish country in the world. We don't have anywhere else in the world to go.
Yep. Amy, did you have a question you want to ask Danielle?
Yeah, I did. If you already served the time you needed to in the army, something like this happened, and you're like in college now, does it matter at all? Like, will they just be back and you leave school and like it's the first priority?
Yeah. I have a lot of friends that are already living in the university and still everything stopped. Their reserves and the army is first priority, and everyone will get a call. Just come. You don't have a choice.
That's crazy. I couldn't imagine going to school and then just all of a sudden saying, okay, now it's time to go to the army, and you have to drop everything you're doing and just go and fight for your country. It's a wild way to live.
And imagine doing it for 3 years.
Danielle, can you talk a little more about the fact that you're not able to live a normal life, and can you speak on behalf of Israelis of how your life is totally always up in the air because of this crisis? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I luckily live in the center of the country, so I don't feel it on daily basis. But many Israelis that live in the south can't really have a normal life because I think every day there's at least one alarm that stops their daily. Sorry, I just noticed my family is here.
That's okay.
Again, every day there's at least one alarm that stops all the things that people do, and they have to just run to the shelter. And that's on the relaxed days. In the busy days, like now, everything stops. People, the disabled people and the old people, they all need to stay in the shelter all day long because of the fear that something suddenly happens. You can't sleep normally because you're constantly afraid that something will happen in your sleep or in the shower or in the toilet. It really is. I don't know. I don't know how the people in the south tolerate that all year long. It's been like that for 12 years already.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's really frustrating. How about we talk about a little bit about where some of these rockets have fallen? In terms of like in Jerusalem and in Tel Aviv. What do you think Hamas's goal is in doing that? Like, because they can potentially ruin their really ancient sites, such as their mosques and stuff. Why do you think they're firing rockets into like ancient cities and holy cities like
What?
Jerusalem? Why do you think Hamas is firing rockets into holy cities like Jerusalem?
I think they're trying to show their strength and to show us that it's not just the south. They can reach Tel Aviv. They can reach Jerusalem. I don't really see why they bomb Jerusalem because it's a holy city for the three religions, even for the Islam, and they want this city as their capital city, as they say. So I don't really understand why they're shooting at Jerusalem, but I think they're trying to show their strength that they can hurt us. They try to show us that they've improved in the past 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Alex or Amy, any other questions before I keep going?
I mean, I would just say, in my opinion, bombing or shooting missiles at a city like Jerusalem, I mean, they may want it to show some strength, but in my opinion, that just shows weakness and just shows that they're willing to do anything.
I don't know.
Doesn't make sense.
I just can't imagine being there and like this being my daily life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's been going on for 12 years.
I know it sounds crazy and horrible. I know it sounds really crazy and horrible, and that you don't really know how we could live this way. Unfortunately, people get used to it, and they just combine it in their daily life, and they got used to living like that. That's crazy, and that's an awful thing to say, but that's true. Right now, the situation is much worse. The missiles are coming non-stop, so it's not like that right now for a daily basis for 12 years, but yes, almost every day there's been bombing and people get.
Yeah, we were speaking to another woman yesterday who we had a Vonvo with, and she was explaining to us how she loves her country, yet she can't imagine raising her kids there because
What?
it's just. Can you hear me?
I don't really understand.
We were having another Vonvo with another woman yesterday, and she was explaining to us.
Yes.
She was explaining to us how it'd be. She can't even imagine raising her own family there because of how dangerous it is. And although she would want to, and she loves her country, she just can't imagine raising a family there.
Well, children are living here, and families are raising here. It's not that bad as it seems in the media. I know that everyone that comes to Israel to travel or in Taglit or in some kind of a trip, they see a different Israel than you see in the media. Israel is a beautiful country and a great country to come visit and to live. I love my country and I love living here, and I wouldn't live any other place. I wouldn't live in any other country in the world for sure, and I wouldn't raise my children in any other country. And first of all, because it's important for us to be here, and second of all, because this is my home and my land, and here I was born. I said it's sad for me. I'm sad to hear that there are people that can't imagine living here because it really is a great country. Yes, we are in a complicated situation, and we have to defend ourselves and to fight for our being here. But that's part of being an Israeli, I guess. It's not weird for us to go to the army for 2 or 3 years in the middle of our lives. It's actually a really normal thing here. The ones who don't go to the army are the weird ones, and I don't know. And it just I guess part of being an Israeli. I
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
Before you go on, I actually have to go to work, so I have to go. But thank you so much for speaking with me and with us. It was great to hear from you and your views. And also, while I'm on this, everyone in Israel, my prayers go out to you, especially my friends and my family there. Love you guys. Bye.
Okay, bye, Amy. Alex.
Yeah. Amy, what? What were you gonna say?
In regards to peace, did you? So, Danielle, I was going to ask you, what in your eyes would you exchange as an Israeli to have peace in your country, so that you could live a normal life? What do you think it would take to broker peace?
what would I exchange?
Yeah, what would it take, for Israel to get peace with the Palestinians? What do you think it takes?
You mean like land?
Well, yeah, I mean land, or just what do you think it ultimately will take, to have peace inside of Israel? What do you think the solution is?
I'm sorry, I don't really hear you so well. You're like
Yeah,
there
yeah.
are interruptions.
I said, what do you think the solution is to have peace inside of Israel?
Okay. Um, that's a hard question because as I see it now, Israel is willing to uh, make compromise and talk about and make a negotiation for peace. But as I said before, I don't really think that we have a partner right now. Yes, we need to start talking. We need to go back to negotiations and talking about land and all the things that they are needed to be talking about. But I really don't know if Hamas is really interested in becoming a country because um, they don't act like a responsible government. They act more like a terrorist that wants to um, hurt as much as civilians and innocent people as they can. I hope that someday it will change. I hope that they will want to talk and that the negotiation about peace will come back to the agenda. But I don't really sure that it's possible right now.
Yeah.
That's just my honest opinion, and don't take it as
Yeah.
all the Israel's opinion or the government's opinion.
No, of course. Now, what would you say, like, when you saw the bomb explosion that occurred today on that bus, right? And over here in America, they said that Hamas didn't take responsibility for the bombing, but praised it. What goes through your head when you hear that?
Actually, it's really scary. A few years ago, we had a different reality from now that buses were bombing on daily basis and people were killed all the time. And to hear that there was a bomb in a bus today, this is really scary and makes me think that maybe things will go backwards to the days that it was really, if you know, in the Intifada when suicide terrorist attacks, suicide bombers were in buses or in places with a lot of people. So yeah, I got scared when I heard about it. I hope it's not. I hope it's just like a warning sign from them, not something that it's going to return. Because with that, you can't really fight. You can't fight with a suicide bomber because he came to suicide and to kill as much people as he can. He didn't come. He doesn't come for peace, not for talks, not for anything like that.
Yeah. I mean that.
So it's just crazy. Yeah, it's crazy to think that people say there may be a Israel's against a country or a enemy that doesn't want peace or is willing to do anything in order to just keep the fight going. So they're just an irrational enemy.
I can't hear you.
Max, can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. I would just speak a little bit slower. That's all.
Okay. I was just saying that it's just crazy to think that Israel is up against another enemy who is just completely irrational, and Israel wants a ceasefire, but like you said, when suicide bombers are coming into Israel to do as much destruction as possible, there's nothing you can do to stop that individual because they're coming to essentially die anyway. So there's just nothing you can do to stop this kind of attacks and these people.
Yeah, but it's important to say that there aren't suicide bombers yet. I just said that I was afraid that it would return. Right now, it wasn't a suicide bomber. It was a bomb in a bus, and I hope it was the last. But I believe that in the Gaza Strip, there are many people that do want peace, and they can't live like that. They live in a twisted, horrible life and situation and reality too. Their life is not much better than ours. The difference is that they have a radical terrorist organization that controls them, and we have a democratic state. So that's the difference. I believe that people in Gaza want peace, and they can't tolerate that anymore. But they don't, or I don't know if they don't want, or they can't, or I don't know why they don't stand against Hamas, because Hamas is making all this crazy situation for both sides.
Yeah. Now I have another question. You've lived in Israel your whole life, right, Danielle?
Yeah.
Do you have any Palestinian or Arab friends that you get along with just fine? Did you go to school with any?
I didn't really hear, but did you ask if I have Palestinians or Arabs friends?
Yes, I did.
Yeah?
Yes. Do you hear me? Yes.
There are some problems in the connection. I don't really hear, but if that is what you asked, so no, unfortunately, no, I don't. I didn't really have a relationship with an Arab in my life. I know Arabs, of course, but not in a friendly relationship.
Okay. Gotcha. So I guess the next thing that I want to ask you about would be, what is your opinion on how the U.S. is handling this crisis, and what do you think the U.S. should be doing?
What is my opinion on what?
On how Obama is handling the situation.
I think Obama was more supportive than I thought it would be. He would be, because he said that he doesn't. He does. I don't really remember how really it was said, but he said something like he don't think that um, that it's good that if we have a ground attack, but if it's necessary, then we should do it, and that we should have the right to defend ourselves, which is true. I sense that the opinion of the leaders of the world, Obama and the UN, right now is a bit more supportive of Israel than it was 4 years ago. And I hope it would continue that way because we really need this support and help. I don't know what would happen in the next few days because they're talking about a ceasefire and nothing is changing in the. I believe that nothing would change. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that if the situation goes on as it is right now, then we need to start a ground attack to make a larger operation.
Okay. So let's finish up with these last two questions. What is your general overall feeling that you have right now? In terms of what's going on in your country, are you scared, nervous? Are you feeling more brave and proud to be an Israeli? Can you?
What? I can't.
What is your? Do you hear me right now?
Yeah. Slowly.
What is your general emotion that you are feeling right now?
What is my general feeling right now towards this operation or towards the world?
Yeah, your emotion.
I have to say it's not the most pleasant time here in Israel. Yeah, it's a bit scary. Yeah, we don't know what the future holds, and it's hard to know that a lot of my friends are waiting just to get inside Gaza and start the operation, which I don't know if would happen or not, but. If it would, a lot of people that I know and a lot of my friends and a lot of Israeli soldiers would be participating, and it is scary. It's not a nice feeling. I'm already all the time connected to the news and to know to the last reports to know what's going on, and there's all the time something new. Today the bombing and the missiles and the larger range of missiles, and things are not getting much easier and calm.
Yeah.
And it's not. I don't know. It's a hard situation that I hope that would come to an end.
Okay, great. So, the last question that I have for you is, what message do you want to tell everyone around the world?
What?
What message do you want to share with the rest of the world and whoever watches this video?
Okay. I really want to say that before they criticize Israel and before they jump to conclusions about how evil Israel is and how we want to hurt civilians, I really hope that people would check much more carefully and to know the real facts and to remember that we have a right to live here and to be here. We won this right honestly in 1948, and we have the right to defend ourselves, even if it means that innocent people get hurt, which is not our purpose at all. It's just something that unfortunately is inevitable, and that we really want that both sides could be living here peacefully, and that we just want all this craziness to end.
Yeah. All right. Very good. So Danielle, thank you so much for helping us out and joining us here on Vonvo.com and sharing your opinion and your perspective. Alex and I, we both really appreciate it. And maybe we'll get a chance to speak in a few days about any updates that we get, so that we can share it again with the world.
Thank you so much for doing this. This is really important to me, and I know to all of the Israelis, and I think this is really great.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Thank you for your time, and stay safe. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.